First started doing choreography for competitions because I couldn't afford a choreographer, so I decided to do it myself. As the years went on, I choreographed, my own work, with my dancers as well. I'm very grateful. I have the privilege to work with wonderful dancers from Colorado Ballet, from Orlando Ballet as well. I have a guest artist from France as well, who's coming to work with us on this specific piece. We've been commissioned by Cherry Rubin for the Evergreen Festival. We're very excited to come all together, the Thomas Dance Project, and present our visceral work as artists. This idea of choreography first started with the Colorado Ballet in September. I was commissioned by Gail Boggs, our artistic director, to create a brand new piece called Nostalgia. We performed it here in September and it went very well. So then we went on with the Boulder Ballet. The Boulder Ballet director, Lance Arden, came to me and asked if I could set the piece with Boulder Ballet, and it was a wonderful experience. I grew up in France and I left home very young, so I always had that feeling of, I've always been very nostalgic of, back home, like it was always more beautiful, and maybe it isn't, but somehow there's that feeling of like, back in the days it was a little nicer, it was a little easier, it was probably just as hard, but somehow I have that like poetic and romantic mind. I decided to create Nostalgia I wanted to create that feeling of like different stages of life, in a couple's life, when you first meet, when you can be 16, 17, you fall in love and you're afraid to go further than a few kisses and holding hands, and then 10 years later, all of a sudden, like maybe you start becoming a little more serious in your relationships, maybe you want to get married, then 15 or 20 years down the road, like it's a different stage of relationship. Maybe you're already married, but you're thinking of divorcing or doing something else, experiencing different things. So Nostalgia is very much about, the different like kind of stages of relationship, at 20 years old, at 35, then at like 50 or, 60, 70. I really wanted to portray that, the kind of like the light love, the flames that you can have when you're 17, and then maybe it's a little less when you're 30 or 35 because you're a little wiser, and maybe when you're older, it becomes maybe a little more intellectual love. It's more about like an attraction that comes from the mind, a psychological attraction rather than a physical attraction. So I really wanted to depict all those different stages of relationship in Nostalgia. Our goal as a company, the Thomas Dance Project, is to share our life with the audience, share our art. It's not us looking good with the audience clapping for us, but it's us giving something to the audience and getting a clear response. It sometimes happens to us, we dance in smaller venues and you're dancing and you can stare at someone in the crowd and all of a sudden you're really gonna share something. You don't know that person, you don't know who they are, how old they are, where they're gonna have dinner tonight, but you're creating that connection with them, and this is what we're looking for, connecting with the audience and make one, and that's really our goal. I also wanted to say that I'm very grateful for all the people that have helped us throughout this process. They were great figures of the dance world that have been part of our adventures. Gail Boggs from the Colorado Ballet gave us the chance to choreograph wonderful works in great venues. Lance Arden from the Boulder Ballet gave us the chance as well to do beautiful things with the Boulder Ballet. Cherry Rubin from the Evergreen Music Festival gave us the chance to do some wonderful things for her festival, and none of this would have been possible without their help. We are artists because you're helping us to keep creating, so a big thank you to all those people. Please keep supporting us.